Are you listening?
With veganism on the rise, Generation Vegan interviews the up-and-coming hottest vegans. And in this podcast, we teach you the practical side of having a plant-based diet. Today, I'm so excited. I have my first international client. His name is Valentino Vegan. And we talk about a lot of Germany's society and how it's very accustomed to the vegan movement. And we also go a little bit off subject about how porn affects the young group and young society and how Tai Lopez and his empire building is changing the world. So let's just jump in. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to us on iTunes or YouTube. And today I have the honor of interviewing my first international guest, Valentino Vegan. He is a German student, a model, a traveler, and an animal activist. He works out and he loves spreading the word of a cruelty-free, plant-based diet. So thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so just to get you started, just to get you kind of loose and warmed up, tell us a little bit about your story, about your journey, and just why you became vegan.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, Valentino Vegan. Why did I become vegan? Actually, I went into veganism on rather egoistic, selfish terms because I was basically meeting a new, I was making new acquaintances with a vegan family, and the mother was a renowned healer sort of thing, like very into superfoods and all that kind of stuff, treating cancer patients. And basically, yeah, I saw their lifestyle, what they did. I chatted to the mom for a couple of days, and then I realized how healthy actually the vegan lifestyle is and what benefits it has for me. And later on, then I educated myself on the whole animal cruelty stuff later.
Sorry, I'm the exact same way. I actually became, I got a disease called rheumatoid arthritis, and I couldn't walk for 4 months. And so I had to go vegan because of that. And then after that, I started watching a lot of videos and, you know, reading a lot of stuff, and it just really hit my heart because I've never even killed bugs. As a kid, it was hard for me to go fishing, and it was hard for me. I can't kill bugs. The only bugs I kill are mosquitoes if they bite me. Now, if they don't bite me, then they're still good.
That's cool. Like insects are also like they're part of nature, and you should respect all forms of little life too. And
right. So I don't know if you watch Pal Simeon on YouTube.
Is it Paul?
Pal Simeon.
No, I've not come over that yet.
Okay, he's not too big. He's only got about 30,000 followers, but he's a very intense vegan, and he always talks about the trifectas of veganism. So it's like the environment, your health, and for the animals. And he's like, it's a trifecta, bro. So
yeah, and then the people, right? What about the people?
I guess that would be under the category of health, but I don't think it saves the people at all just because none of them are vegan.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, like the people in Africa.
Go on about that.
The whole thing with that. Well, about how so much food, like in Cowspiracy, like how much food we waste on feeding livestock instead of directly feeding humans, although that would be so much more economical and logical to do.
Right.
And just wasting our food away and spending all our precious water on livestock, basically, and having hungry people in the world that die every day.
Right. And I actually saw a really interesting interview yesterday about this girl who had been vegan for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then she, I guess, got sick or something. And so she had to go back to a non-vegan diet, which I don't understand why, but to each his own, I guess. And then she started doing research, and she was like saying that not only are vegans lying about the animal agriculture ruining this earth and the fact that we could feed the entire planet with their food, but that actually a vegan diet is more detrimental to the world because we're eating plants that are being grown and we're still like killing Amazons and stuff. And what do you think about that? Like when you hear stories that are completely against what we do, and not only that, but someone who's been vegan for 20 years, like how do you feel about that?
Like that she was vegan for 20 years is good for her, of course, and cool, but it doesn't give her more like authority in any way. If you think about it, like she doesn't have like more knowledge or research done. Like maybe she was just like a lifestyle vegan or whatever. And usually I find it very funny because the more you get into the whole thing of veganism and subject, like the more clear it becomes how detrimental and beneficial it is for everybody and how great it is. And then of course you have people like Vegan Gains, and they smash those kind of people, or like the vegan activist, or a friendly activist, I meant, or what's the guy that does the comics?
I don't know.
Oh, the from the UK, like the funny vegan comics, whatever. So as soon as you kind of surround yourself with those influences, then you really get into it, and then you realize like there is no counter argument against veganism,
Right.
and it's all just these like little pathetic efforts to kill the argument, and it's just like their last resource when they become stupid or they make up stuff and bring out their fake studies that were done by the dairy or meat industry. But that's not gonna win the arguments, because if the UN puts out studies that include so much well done research and so much knowledge, and like it's all proper science, and okay.
And so can you tell everyone how old you are and just the top like 3 benefits that you've had since becoming vegan?
Yeah, sure. I'm 23 right now, and the main benefits, like I realize is like every day, like in the gym, my recovery time is insane. Like I'm hardly like really sore like I used to be. Like I can go every day and hit it hard and still recover and go again. So that's amazing. And then also like my whole digestion and everything, how it works in my body is way better, I think. And I'm feeling a lot happier. I kind of found my, well, it's kind of cheesy, like the purpose, but you know, because I've always been a very very close to nature, and I always loved animals. And I had this time where I lied to myself about how it's okay to eat meat, but still kept loving animals. And now I can love animals like the real way, by facing them and not causing any harm onto them. So that made me a very happy person, I guess.
Right. And it's so funny because you don't meet a lot of people that go vegan that say they're unhappy. I mean, you meet a lot of people that try veganism that say that they hated it for like 30 days, right? But you don't meet people that have been vegan for over 2 or 3 months that are like, oh, I'm so sad. It's like our energy just rises, and
Yeah,
we just so much more vibrant.
There's no way that you feel worse. Like you're definitely doing something wrong then. Like if you're on a whole foods plant-based diet with all the good stuff, and you cut out like diet soda and alcohol and whatever, then you like every friend of mine like that just has like one meal afterwards, they always say, oh my god, like I already realized like I'm feeling better and fitter and happier. So
Well, when you went vegan, did your family make the leap as well, or your friends, or are you the only one?
no, so I did for myself, and let me recap, how was that? So yeah, I made the decision almost like immediately, like really from one day to the other. I remember telling my mom, okay, I'm doing this now. And back then, like no one realized how serious I would be and how it will all work out. And since then, like I've been really well, annoying to my family.
At the beginning, like I don't know if you just went vegan 100% or did you transition, and when you were like finally at that last place where you're like, okay, I'm going 100% today, what was the hardest thing to give up, and how did you accomplish like giving that up and conquer that?
Like I don't have any like really good memories of that time, I remember when I first started, we almost immediately we were on holiday in Italy, and I was allowing myself uh, pizza with fish. Like I had some weird pizza with fish on it, so that was not vegan, and yeah, but I went pretty. I was pretty. Yeah, I made a real cut basically. I didn't have like a transitional phase that took too long where because I had cut out milk before, actually before I went vegan, and then I only had to cut like the other dairy products and the meat. And I had a little bit experience with vegetarianism because I was a vegetarian as a teenager for 2 years, actually because of well, animal rights reason, and because I felt that it was the only right thing to do. But then my doctors told me that I had to go off the diet, and my mom suggested because I was, well, I was kind of short, and everybody was like, oh, maybe that's why it's your diet, and that made me say, okay, I'm gonna go back to a normal diet and try out whether that's gonna help me. And I always planned on going back into vegetarianism. So when I went vegan, I was very happy that I finally made that connection, that right step back into where I wanted to be.
Right.
No, I did it entirely by myself. When I was on holiday back then and I met this family, like me and my friend, we were both very convinced that it's a perfectly healthy and great diet everybody should try. So for a while, this friend was also vegan, but then he went back to normal, and he never stood vegan, unfortunately, although I keep trying to push him into it. And for the rest of my family, like we always had like quite a healthy diet, but not neither vegetarian nor vegan. But now, like, I try to educate everybody about like animal cruelty. I showed like documentaries, little bits and pieces. I'm trying to explain the health benefits and everything. So I kind of had my grandmother go vegan, my grandfather go vegetarian,
Wow.
and my mom and my sister are like like almost 100% vegetarian, I guess. Yeah, they only have like some chicken sometimes, but very very rarely. Like they're very happy with like fake meats for now, and like that's the main people I influence. Oh, no more sun. But also like I just shared this on my Instagram actually. Like a girl messaged me on Tinder that she went vegan just because she saw me apparently. Like, so I influenced some of my friends. I wasn't too successful with it, but I keep trying and annoying them. Like I'm really annoying. They hate me for it. Everybody hates me for it.
I'm the same way. Like I've actually started to learn that glazed look in their eye when they stop listening. And I'm like, okay, I need to stop spewing off stats and everything. But I think just to what my main goal is with myself, my passion and purpose in life, and this podcast is just to bring normalization to, because like what is normal, right? But to bring normalization to veganism, because I live in a very small country town, and a lot of them think they literally call vegan food. I hate saying the word because it's so mean, but the F for gays, for gay people.
Okay. If I think the more you get involved with the whole veganism thing, like the more you realize how ignorant it is to consider it as like some sort of special thing. You know, like
right.
I think it's a normal way to eat and to live, and anything else is rather abnormal. And of course, like the only thing that is always is there, like the cultural thing that people are so used to having their ways and their recipes. So yeah, I can see their point. Yeah, I'm also struggling between like being tolerant towards their ways and then, yeah, because like once they know what's up, once they know that it's not even healthy for them, that meat causes cancer, and that the animals are suffering for no purpose, just because someone is selfish and likes a taste, then I kind of become intolerant. Then I'm like, okay, I can't be with you on this one anymore.
So is Germany very vegan friendly, or do you have vegan friends?
Yes, I think we are very vegan friendly, actually. I think Germany has always been a very, can I say, ecological country, like very, very protective of their environment, very, yeah, we've always had very high regulations, for example, with garbage disposal and stuff like that. We don't have these landfills like they're very common in America. We always recycle everything, and it's very deep entrenched in German culture, actually, like, for example, like recycling, protecting the environment. And so Germany was one of the first countries in the European Union, or probably the first one, to cut out all nuclear power plants, for example. Like, we are completely on renewable energy. And with the veganism, like, it's been going pretty good. Like, in every supermarket, even like Aldi, Lidl, and some other chains of supermarkets like Walmart, they all have their vegan offers now, and it's becoming on more menus. And when you go out into a city, like not every, but if it's a big city, like, there's a lot of vegan restaurants or with vegan options. And I think America and Germany is like almost on the same level. That's just like how I see it. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Okay. So how do you feel? Because I'm very undecided about soy, but how do you feel about soy and just the controversy of the fact that some say it's good, some say it's healthy, some say it's healthy at the beginning and good and bad at the end? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think it's way better than many other things, like for normal milk, for example. And then the whole like arguing against soy from the standpoint that it's bad for the environment, or like that it's like cutting down the rainforest. I think that's stupid. Like, that's what's happening, because like you have the soy for the farming business and for feeding livestock, and then you have the special soy. It's mainly like even like organically grown and special for all the soy products.
Right.
And I think it's a great base or substitute for fake meats, and I think it's one of the great ingredients for having something to replace meat for the masses. But then if you're coming from the angle of like trying to eat the healthiest diet possible, like for example, I don't have soy powder as protein powder. I'm very happy with my pea and rice protein.
Mm.
And I feel like soy milk isn't good for my skin either. But that's like just a personal thing. My mother loves soy milk. She thinks it's going to help her grow bigger boobs. And she read that somewhere. And my sister also drinks soy stuff, and they have the soy yogurt, and they don't have any skin issues. It's just that maybe I react differently to it, or yeah, it's an individual thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I went to LA and there was all these vegan restaurants, so I was in vegan heaven. I was just freaking out, and I was eating all this vegan cheese and whatnot, and then my skin started breaking out, and it was just terrible. So I'm on the skin level. I really like your answer, though. That was really good, because, and if you also look at it if you're trying to argue from a cancer point of view, I interviewed this guy he's a doctor. His wife was a doctor, or is a doctor. And they say that all the studies of the protein are actually done on the protein shake protein, not like tofu and soybeans.
Yeah, and it's a big difference, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna try tofu soon. I think I'm good with not eating tofu or any soy right now, just because I have a whole diet right now. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the soy milk is sort of the worst in my opinion. Like tofu, I consider it to be made in a different way. I don't even know whether that's true, but it's just like, yeah, because you can buy very organic special tofu, but with the milk, it's mainly from like big companies. And as soon as it's big industry, like maybe they have like more processing involved in it. So yeah, that's just my guess.
Okay, so let's talk about haters, because we all know if you're going to do anything different, you're going to have haters. So have you ever typed or posted an animal activist video or a healthy food video or picture, and someone types underneath like, but I like bacon or something like that? How do you handle that?
So actually, like on my Instagram and Facebook, the way it is now, I feel like I'm in an entirely vegan, vegetarian community where everybody agrees. I'm not, because of like the way I post, it's very target oriented. So I'm in the right group, which is also kind of stupid because I'm not influencing the people that should be influenced.
Yeah.
In real life, of course, I do have many haters. Like when people find out that I'm vegan, like usually they try to avoid the topic, but then like people get interested and we get into arguments, or I try to explain my stuff and they come back with all their counter arguments, if you want to call it that. And well, then at some point they might become haters or very mean. Like I've had people like call me like gay, for example, stuff like that. And that's just one of the things that shows so perfectly that they don't have any idea about what they're talking. They just want to insult you, and they don't like the way they're kind of on the losing side. Yeah, on social media, it's been going pretty good, basically because I deleted all my old Facebook accounts because I felt that I'm annoying my friends too much. And I also didn't like social media. And then when I got back on it, I only accepted actual vegans as friends or people that I knew that were interested in the topic.
Yeah.
And I really made the effort of not being friends with people that are not vegan because I know they hate when I post the truth.
Yeah, and I want to talk about your mental process before you were vegan, because I really want people to be able to relate to us. And
yeah.
I mean, I was not a vegan for 4 years of my life. And I just want you to talk about when maybe you met a vegan, what you would say to them or think about them, just the way you thought about
everything. It's a very interesting question. You're totally right. Like, you should never like cut yourself off from what people used to be. Like John Venus, he has a very nice video about that. And John Venus makes everything very relatable. And my story, like, I was not vegan for 21 years until my 21st year of my life. And so I was always actually very interested in different kind of lifestyles. I remember when I was around 14, 15, I knew a raw foodist, or maybe even like one of these guys that only eat stuff that fell from the tree. I'm not quite sure what he did, but I was very interested. I wasn't like shutting down myself to it. And I remember, for example, he telling me that he's going to change his diet because he's an exchange student. And I was like, why would you do that? You should stick to your ethics. And then when I was vegetarian for a while, I didn't think much about it. I didn't know many other vegetarians. And then I was a complete meat eater again. And I just thought I was so like entrenched in this whole bodybuilding philosophy of protein, protein, protein. I was having a lot of milk, of course, and whey protein powder and a lot of steak and nasty other products that I now regret. And it was just about education. But I knew one vegan that posted on Facebook. I remember that. And I put a mean comment under his thing. He put something about baby calves being slaughtered. And I basically put something like, oh, but it's so delicious. I don't remember what exactly.
Yeah, that's super awesome for you to admit.
So I was there, but still back then when I did it, I was more trying to provoke him. Like I wouldn't have actually, like with my heart said, I don't like baby cows or I prefer meat. Like at that point I was just trolling. I wasn't understanding what's going on. But unfortunately I wasn't exposed to veganism much earlier, because I think if I had been around it more and saw the benefits and someone educated me on it, I would have made the step into the lifestyle earlier. So yeah, that's like my only regret. But back then I didn't know much about it. So, you know, like if you don't know something, then you're like, what is this? What are these guys doing? And then the only thing that you know about them is stuff that the media tells you, or like that's somewhere in society. Then you will say, then you'll think, oh, they're anorexic, they are not well fed. How do you say they're
nourished?
Sorry?
Like they're malnourished.
Yeah, malnourished. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. They're malnourished. You know, they have skin problems. They are iron deficient and blah 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 deficient. So, but as soon as you meet someone that's super healthy and in shape, then you see that that's not true. And actually, before I met this lady that I told you about, I watched a lot of YouTubers. YouTube fitness YouTubers are very big in Germany. Like this, basically the whole industry is either America or Germany.
Right.
That's how I feel. Yeah. And we have a couple of vegan ones, and they claim to be vegan. They weren't like living a vegan lifestyle, but they were plant-based. So I knew it was possible to build muscle that way. I didn't make the connection between vegan as an ethical form of life that has many benefits for Earth and society and the planet and all that. I just knew it's possible to build muscle and to live that way. So that was also a very important step for me to know as a meat eater. Okay, there's guys out there making YouTube videos, being super buff, living that way.
Can you flex?
Can I flex? Yeah. All biceps.
Before I was vegan, I was at a bodybuilding show. I would go to them all the time because I was a bikini competitor. Who isn't these days? I feel like everyone is. But I would go and there would be people wearing vegan shirts, like, and it would say vegan on the back. And I remember my coach, my trainer, he would be like, if I see one more person with a vegan shirt, I'm going to punch them in the face. Like, they're so ignorant. And I was like, yeah, ignorance. And now I feel so dumb because at my next show, I'm going to wear a vegan shirt.
Yeah, sure. Like, I'm always trying to find like nice gym gear that kind of promotes veganism or some good piece of vegan propaganda. And I think especially in the context of the whole fitness industry, like the fitness industry is a great chance for veganism in itself because people are more concerned with being healthy and less with eating nice. I think most bodybuilders, they're not concerned with the taste of their steak. They just eat the steak because they believe that it's going to make them look better and grow big. So I see a very high potential there because so many people look up to these bodybuilders and fitness models and role models, and they're ready to make the transition if you prove to them that it's beneficial to them and that they can benefit in any way.
And that's actually when I contact you and other people, it's because you have abs and arms and you have pictures that show that, because that was one of my biggest excuses before I was vegan, because I would be like, yeah, but you see all the vegans, they're mushy. I mean, I'm not a mushy person. I don't want to be mushy ever in my life. I'm going to be an 80-year-old with a 6-pack abs, you know, and like delts and everything. But some people have contacted me to be on the podcast, and I look through their stuff, and they're obviously inspiring, right? Because they're vegan, but they don't have any pictures of their bodies, and they're very into like food and stuff. And it's like, I don't want to interview you because that's what people think veganism is. I'm trying to show them the bodybuilding side of it and the muscle side of it, because I want people to be like, oh, okay, these people have bodies and they eat healthy and they save the environment and they don't kill animals. Let's do this.
Yeah. That's a perfect combination.
Yeah. So how do you feel about SeaWorld? And if you have kids in the future or now, would you take them to SeaWorld or zoos or anything like that?
So as a kid, I always loved going to some sort of wildlife park. We don't do classical zoos around here because my city is not that big. So yeah, we could see like wolves, stuff like that, goats, like more local animals. So I never got to see a giraffe or an elephant or like wildlife, but I always loved it. Like it was a great thing. And now I would still love to see them because I love them. I realize that I'm just supporting with my money a very exploitative and bad industry that is enslaving animals just for other people to stare at them, and it's very cruel and depriving them of their natural habitat and denying them the freedom to run where they should be. So I wouldn't take anyone there. I wouldn't go there myself. And although I would love to because I like them, but I know for myself now the only way to see animals is either to go there in their natural habitat, go out into the wild, or just go to a farm sanctuary, which is a nice way of getting close and face to face with rescued animals. Yeah.
Do y'all have SeaWorld over there?
I think we have just similar stuff. I'm not sure whether it's called SeaWorld. Like in bigger cities like Hamburg or Barcelona, I remember I was in SeaWorld like I don't know, zoos or museums, whatever, where they had big fish and everything. So they are here, and I wouldn't go anymore.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about your dating life. And I just like, when you date people, do you prefer that they are vegan, or do you care that they're not vegan? Or is it something where it's like, if you're not serious about marrying them, you care or don't care type of thing?
So when I first got into it, I never thought about it because back then, of course, I wasn't as well, I wasn't aware of what's bad with eating meat. I was just new to the whole thing. At first, it was more of a lifestyle. And if you're coming from the lifestyle side, then you're always like, okay, I'm doing it my way, he's doing his way. Why would I like disturb them? Like everybody should do what they want to do. But now, of course, as an ethical vegan, this changed. And yeah, I'm actually having pretty hard time dating, not doing much. Because of the fact that it's so hard to find cute ethical vegan girls that I can relate to. And for any kind of relationship that I will go into in the future, it's a necessity. Like there's no way I'm going to do it without it because it's such an important part of my life. And yeah, I'm also kind of disgusted by it. I don't want to see them eating meat and kissing them or something like that. I think it's not going to happen anymore. Yeah.
Well, the very first girl that I interviewed, she made a really good point, because I'm the same way as you. Like, I want them to be vegan because I feel like ethically it just says a lot about you. Well, if they don't know about it, if they don't know what vegan is, then and I show them, then cool. But if they know and they just make fun of it or whatever, they choose not to, then it's like, but she made a really good point that we should date non-vegans because that gives us the opportunity to show them how healthy we are, and we can cook for them, and then we can convert them. And so that's one extra person that is vegan. And I thought that was a really interesting point, because I was very close-minded to that.
I agree. Like for me, it's also different. Like if they give me this vibe of like being very into nature and connected and spiritual, and I see this potential of them being interested in making this lifestyle change after a while, I'm totally open for that. You know, I would love to help someone transition also, but I think you can get this feeling of someone very early on. I don't think like someone needs like half a year to realize how good it is for you. Because like if you meet someone and they tell you about what they do, then you're either, hey, that's cool, tell me more, or you're not really interested and you judge them for it. I actually also had a very positive experience. I was dating a girl around New Year's, and she's vegan now after watching actually a couple of YouTube videos that I sent her, and I'm super happy about that. So yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's cool. Yeah. So what are your favorite brands of cheese? Now, I don't know. Well, this could be broadcast in Germany, but I don't know if this will relate to Americans. But what types of cheese and ice cream do you like to eat the most?
I'm actually not too big on that because like the only way to get that stuff is to go into like real vegan supermarkets. We have them, but not in my city. When I had cheese, I was at a very delicious vegan restaurant in Rochester, New York, and they had all kind of handmade like the real cheeses, like on cashew basis. I love that.
Yeah.
So whenever it's like this proper grown cheese, not that processed, you know, I love that. And sometimes I also have like just these little cheese shreds to put on my pizza. They're not great, but they kind of taste cheesy, and it's a fun thing. But I don't have it as much in my diet as I could have. And for the ice cream, we have kind of a couple of new German brands coming out right now that are based on these lupins. Is it lupin? I don't know the word. It's like a chickpea, but it has no taste to it, and you can use the protein of it to make some really delicious ice cream. So it's an alternative to the classic coconut one.
I don't know. I've never heard.
It like I had my grandmother and my grandpa taste it, and we all thought it was normal ice cream. Like there was no difference. But when I was in America, I liked the Cocoa Delicious, or what it's called.
Yeah, so delicious.
So delicious, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just had that, and yeah, that was great.
So when you meet people and they seem like they're kind of interested, but they're not disconnected yet. For example, I was pretty vegan. I was 100% vegan for about 6 months, and I could still look at a steak and still, let's say my friend ordered a steak, I could still eat a bite of it because even I was having trouble disconnecting the fact that an animal suffered and died, even though I knew, right? And like I knew, but so how do you disconnect people from the carton of milk with the cow in the yard that seems happy, and then the actual cow that has the machine hooked up to its udders and is dying and all that stuff?
Like the usual way that I would like to go, and I would like to have them go, is just by showing them footage, showing them good documentary and on the specific topic. Like there's so many amazing videos. I think there's one short one where they just show the process of them taking away the newborn baby calf from its mother and how the mother is sad. And maybe find videos like from ERIN JANUS videos on how dairy is scary, and because they are very short and they're cruel. They show like cruel scenes, but it's not 100% like violence and graphic material like other films, like maybe Earthlings. I don't know, because that's just too much to bear to watch for some people. They just turn away immediately. And I also explain them what's going on, and like of course they're so entrenched in their belief system of how the cows are happy and everything's all right with it. So I just keep explaining them how that's not the case. And in Germany we also have many websites that try to explain how there's no organic meat, there's no humane way of slaughtering. They kind of expose the lies of the industry. So I would like relink them to that, and yeah.
Yeah, I actually am waiting to watch Earthlings if I ever feel like giving up on veganism, which right now it's like I'm ride or die till I'm dead. But I've been good just by watching YouTube videos and documentaries on Netflix. But I've heard Earthlings is really intense, and I'm very empathetic, so I know that will make me really sad.
Yeah, like I think especially for people that are not vegan yet, like they have no argument not to watch it. You know, like that's just turning away from the truth, and it's turning away from a truth that you are directly supporting. Because like let's just say someone was showing us some footage of how clothes were produced. We also would have a well, not right, but how do you say? We would be obliged. We'd have to watch what's going on, what was used to, how people made our clothes, how stuff is produced, like what's going on behind the scenes. because we are the consumers and the consumers are in charge. And yeah, so it's not just about veganism. Like, I think you have like an obligation to well, find out about what's going on and what you're doing. But once you're vegan, like, you can watch it or you cannot watch it. And it's always a great thing to make the connection, realize what's going on, because there's so many other things like leather and other like pets and stuff that's involved in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was very hard to watch, but you should do it.
How do you speak such good English? You're using bigger words than I am.
You're saying that now after I've been lacking so much vocabulary. No, I have family in America. I was studying in England for a while. I was also teaching in England at a high school, so I had a lot of experiences in foreign countries.
I just am realizing what your shirt says. Could you stand up? Like, what is that about?
My shirt says "Porn kills love." It's fight the new drug, the movement. Yeah.
Is that because they're trying to wipe out the porn industry, or?
No, they're not trying to wipe out the porn industry. They're trying to educate people, and especially youngsters, teenagers, and families about what negative effects on a life of a teenager and a growing adult porn can have, pornography. And I'm totally up with what they're saying. I like what they do. So they stand for a very good cause, because there's a lot of porn-related problems these days, and I think everybody should find out about sexuality their own way in real life, and not about some fake videos online that promote things that are never going to happen, or just exploitative and giving.
It might happen. You can find a girl that's super into it.
Yeah, like, it's everybody's own thing. I think it's especially about teenagers. I was exposed to myself at a very young age, just because my friends were around it at school, and I would like to reverse that. I'm not happy that that happened. I think it doesn't have a good effect on people's life, especially if they're young and maturing and they don't know how to deal with stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so just give people some YouTube channels that they can go watch. Like, what are your favorite YouTube vegans to watch or listen to?
Oh, so like I said, ERIN JANUS, she's great. She's amazing. Mm-hmm. She does very amazing material and cuts it perfectly. Then I just love Vegan Gains. I'm a big Vegan Gains addict. He kind of made me into an ethical vegan. Maybe even I'm not sure, but I think that's how it all came into place. Then, of course, Gary Yourofsky, like Emily from Bite Size Vegan. I think she also does very good work.
Yeah.
Friendly activist, those kind of people. Like, I like the ones that don't lie as much about the ethical side. You know, like, if you're a lifestyle vegan and you're just in for it for the likes and clicks and because it's kind of hip and cool, and for selfish reasons, that's good. And to the animals, it doesn't matter. But to promote the ideas, I think you should always go for the more like ethical and reasonable people that like really do the education, like Vegan Gains. It's just amazing work.
So what was the name of the first girl you mentioned?
ERIN JANUS or Janus. It's ERINJANUS.
Oh yes, I totally reposted her milk stuff.
Yeah, she also got very big with the egg industry video, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just very good at making like bringing across her point of view and helping people realize how fucked up and sad the whole thing is. And yeah, she's kind of sarcastic, and she uses like irony and other like rhetorical ways to get her point across, and she's very savvy about that. And she's so young, so she's a great role model.
How young is she?
I think she's just 20.
Wow, she looks older.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's either 20 or 21.
Mm. So on your Instagram, you talk a lot about your summer of 2018. So what's happening then?
Uh, I just found this for myself. What was behind that was because I've always been into bodybuilding, but I always have this tendency to push myself too hard and then injure myself because I hit the gym too hard, and I'm not careful enough. I kind of made this goal of steady and slow progress, and just count on that time will help me reach my ideal physique, and never think like short term. Not go for like the easy and fast pump at the bench press, doing too much, but rather doing too many push-ups and coming back a week later and doing more push-ups. So that's how I came up with that, because I started out in the gym very early, around when I was 16, and I didn't warm up properly, and I made some mistakes, and I'd be more careful now.
What's your sign? Your birthday sign?
Cancer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same way. So I was very hardcore in the gym, and that's how I exert a lot of my energy at the beginning. And then when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, they told me I was never going to be able to work out again or lift weights, or I'd probably have to just swim or do yoga my whole life. And I'm like, that's not going to work for me. So when I was healing, I would go to the gym and I would feel good, and I'd be like, okay, today's the day. And I would go really hard because that's just how I am. And then I would just be wrecked for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, so now I really have to, I'm either going to have to get a personal trainer that will stop me and be like, dude, chill, you've done 10, like chill. Or just, I don't know. I haven't been in the gym yet because I'm so afraid. But I've been running and doing all other types of stuff. But I totally get that.
Good luck for that.
Thank you. I love how you say, you're like, I'm not going to take the fast and hard, or the easy and fast way. I'm going to take the hard and slow way, because I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger who said, it like an athlete, yeah, they can show off in the gym and they can show off when they're competing, but the biggest challenge that an athlete can show off is when they have to actually stop and not go to the gym, like when they're hurt and they actually have to recover. Like those last week or 2 weeks of you actually not going to the gym is harder for an athlete because they want to go, they want to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, right.
Let's see. You talk. Oh wait, I saw on your Instagram that you have a garden, and I didn't know if that was at your house or your mom's house or your parents' house. But how hard do you think it would be for everyone to adapt a garden in their house, whether that be in Germany or Mid-America or New York, LA?
So where I'm around, like in my neighborhood, at my aunt's house, my grandparents' house, my mom's house, we have really nice gardens. And in Germany, people are treating their gardens completely different to American gardens, because we are not about like this clean-cut grass lawns up at the front. Like we usually use up a lot of it, and it's way more nature. Like to Americans, it might look like a forest, because people are just like letting stuff grow, and it's all very like natural. So you get like weeds but my mom and my grandma's house, we always had berries and stuff like that, and I loved that as a kid. So we always had like some stuff going on, growing our own plants, and I think we could, of course, do more. My mother also is like interested in growing carrots or potatoes and onions, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Just about like trying out and educating yourself on it. And like where I'm from, like we would all have the space. Like there's no excuse, because like our neighbors, for example, they grow a whole lot themselves. Like where at right now, like they could be self-sustainable basically. Like they have so much stuff going on in their garden, and they always share and give out free stuff. So yeah, it's possible.
when you have kids, are you gonna obviously you're gonna raise them vegan, but let's say they had to go to a school where they didn't serve vegan food, or maybe they come home and they're like, oh, people make fun of me today because I don't eat animals. Like, how are you gonna handle that?
Well, I would try to make sure that they know all the hard facts and they just feel very confident about their lifestyle, and so there's nothing that can like push them away, like that there's nothing that can, like, if someone tells them some stupid stuff, that they are the smarter ones and they say that's not true, I actually read about this, I've seen this and this, and just education. Yeah.
So you talk a lot about,
I hope it's going to be better in the future though, like, and easier for vegans and vegan kids, and everybody's going to be changing and adapting.
I don't know if you've heard, but the director of Avatar, him and his wife, they're obviously like billionaires, and they started their own all vegan school in LA, and that was like a year ago, and it's not funded by the government at all, and they serve nothing but vegan food, and they're like very conscious education. They do a lot of forward thinking education. So I would really push for my kids to go there. But honestly, there's this YouTube channel called K8 Sundance, Cost Sundance, and it's a German family, I think, with 5 kids and all under the age of 12 or something, and they travel the world. They have no house and no car.
Know who you're talking about. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love to do that with my family. If I have to stay in one spot just for whatever reason, then we would travel like every day of the summer as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I would really love to go to and take my kids to, this sounds really intense, but a slaughterhouse. I mean, obviously not when they're 5, right? But just show them that it's real, because that's the thing that was hard for me to disconnect, was that like it's real, it's out there, and there are that's one of my goals for 2016 is to go to a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I think like a good thing to do is maybe go to an empty slaughterhouse, just
yeah,
slaughterhouse, because like in Germany, like with school we go to the concentration camps, and that's a good thing to do. And it's a horrible experience and very depressing to see that, but they have all the education material there, and people travel there and educate themselves about what's going on in the Third Reich. And with Slaughterhouse, it's like you can realize how bad it was just by seeing the stuff. You know, it's like going into like some torture cellar, and you don't have to see someone tortured, but you can still realize how bad it is.
That's a really, really good idea. And also, I don't know if it was Gary Yavowski, but somebody said that one of their friends lived next to a slaughterhouse, and he said, you don't even have to go into it. You could just go by it, and you'll feel the death, and you smell the death, and the people that hold the signs for the pigs that go in, and they like give them water and everything. I probably would just do something like that just to see how intense it was and feel the energy, because I bet it's really intense, and I just would like to be educated about all that. So let's talk about your pets. And I don't know if you have any pets, but if you do, are you interested in feeding them a vegan diet, or have you heard of a vegan diet for pets?
So I don't have any pets myself. I always loved the idea of having them, but we never did it. My mom was always too concerned with not being able to take proper care of them. I'm kind of happy right now that I'm not having them, because I don't have to deal with the ethical issue of like breeding, castration, and also what to feed them, because for me the only way to feed them would be a vegan diet. We have a very renowned Austrian doctor that's also very popular in German, that published a couple of books on how to feed your cats and dogs, I think, a vegan diet. So I would try that one out. But of course, with the cats, there might be issues. So yeah, it's like a dilemma.
Yeah, I live with my grandma right now, and she has a dog, so she buys all of our dog food. But as soon as I get my own place in a few months, there's this brand that you can buy, because my dog has allergies. Both of my dogs do, actually. and they just lick and lick and lick. And one of the interviews I had, he said that he switched his dogs over. They had allergies and they went to a vegan diet, and they were vegan for like 4 weeks and it was gone.
Yeah, I can totally see that. It's the same with humans. Like, who knows what they put into this processed stuff that they make there for the animals.
Yeah.
And like this Austrian doctor, his dog lived like forever, like I don't know, like 22 something.
Holy crap.
It was just like going very well, and he published very informative and very science-based diets for pets. So that's what I would go with.
Man, I don't I love Rasta, but I don't know if I want him to live for 20 years, because the Rasta and Ezekiel are their names, and I travel a lot, and so I really want to backpack, but I'm very dedicated to them because I know when I'm 60, I'm going to be like, man, I really miss those guys, you know? So I'm not going to backpack until they pass away, and I don't know if I want them to live for 25 years. I do love them to death, though. They are my babes. We only have a few more questions and we are done. This has been so awesome. So let's say somebody who is very overwhelmed with their corporate job, has kids, and wants to make that change, or they're interested in making a healthier change. What's your go-to meal for them to kind of try out and start with? That's not so complicated.
I think very good thing to do if you have the money, and you're even going out on a normal basis for food. Just go to the vegan restaurants, just try the vegan options, and then see how good it actually is and how good it tastes, so that it's possible. And then yeah, maybe watching some YouTube videos on how to cook, and buying some nice recipe books, and getting an idea of what's possible in the kitchen with a vegan diet and how to replace everything. And then just replacing normal milk by almond milk, normal butter by vegan butter, normal cheese by vegan cheese, and meat by fake meat, because that's just a very easy thing to do.
That's a really good answer. Okay, so for 2016, I'm sure, oh, I skipped this question. So you talk a lot about personal development on your videos on YouTube. And what are some people that people could look up, or videos that they could just type in to watch, that are not necessarily geared towards veganism, but geared towards raising your consciousness and becoming a better person?
So one of the channels that I love the most actually is Fight Mediocrity.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I haven't, but I'll write it down.
It's amazing. I think it's actually one of the best YouTube channels out there. There's nothing that compares to it. It's just well, this guy basically does book reviews, and he puts all the important information about one book in there, and it's solely self-development books.
Cool.
So, and he did all the ones that are famous and you have to read. And then yeah, I think that's a very good thing to start with, because it's, in the end, it always comes down to books. I also what's the name of the guy with this bald guy with always the black backgrounds?
Yeah.
He's big on the spiritual stuff. Like, he has very good videos and enlightenment and stuff like that. What's his name is Leo. I forgot what his channel's name is, but of course, also, like, you can Google or YouTube anything. Like, if you're interested in Eckhart Tolle, then I would listen to Eckhart Tolle. Or if you're into Sadhguru, then you type in Sadhguru, the Indian guy. Or yeah, like any spiritual leader, like the Dalai Lama. Like, just yeah.
So have you listened to Tai Lopez?
Yes, of course.
I knew you did, because you said something that was from his stuff.
I did his 66 steps.
Me too.
Yeah, so I kind of slacked off. It was funny, back when I did it, he was in the process of making them, and I think I was the first one to get to 61, and then there was no videos anymore. So, and then I texted him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we haven't done it yet." So yeah, apparently I was the
first. His phone number?
Sorry?
So you have his phone number, or you texted his office or whatever?
No, I texted his office via email. Like, I think they do a very good job in responding.
They do, yeah.
So it was funny because I was like, oh, this big corporate company, they already have this made, and then I realized it's still in the process. But I like his teaching. He's just like having a hard time getting to the key points.
Oh yeah, he rants like, or just kind of goes off a lot. But I actually went to one of his conferences in LA. Yeah, and I really, one of my goals for 2016, which we'll get back to yours here in a second, is to be in his Money Accelerator program. And I really just want to be a female Thai, just to be honest with you. I just want to do what he's doing, but about
great, that's a good role model.
I know, I love him. I actually.
Let's not forget, Ty Lopez said some very stupid things about veganism, though.
What did he say? I didn't hear that.
He actually has a video where he said, like, plants have feelings too, stuff like that.
Okay, so this is super crazy. You know how he talks about Joel Osteen, or no, that's a preacher. The guy from Forks Over Knives, his mentor, that he stayed on his farm. The guy that started the organic industry.
Okay, I'm not familiar with him, probably, but
he talks about him a lot, and I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. But anyways, I met him at the conference, and I asked him. I said, when he came off the stage, I like stalked him because he does like humane like farming and whatnot, and so anyways, I was like, okay, if you had to pick, and there was no other diet choice, if you had to pick between paleo and veganism, which, and you know what paleo is? It's a CrossFit diet.
Yeah. Okay. Paleo, yeah. The shittiest diet ever.
Right. I was like, so if you had to pick, which one would you pick? And he said, well, I would pick paleo. And I just looked at him. I said, why? He goes, okay, let me reframe. I would pick paleo, but only if it was my meat, because I know where it's coming from and I know that's healthy. If it was just normal, like Walmart meat or something, I would pick veganism because meat's trash. And I was like, wow, that is a really educated answer. Like, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I don't like that answer at all, actually, because meat is cancer, causes cancer in itself. Like, I think that's one of the big lies as well, that it does make a difference. Of course, like if it's mass farming, you know, and in a bad way, it contains more bad hormones and they put way more antibiotics and it's not as grass-fed and stuff. But in the end, it's meat, and meat in itself is very hard to digest and causes cancer. That's just what research says.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think people are always like, oh yeah, if the cow lives out there somewhere, it doesn't suddenly become a healthier thing to eat meat. It's still unhealthy.
Right.
Like,
an
egg in itself is unhealthy to your body. You know, it doesn't matter whether the hen ran free or it was caged.
Yeah. I mean, like, I agree with you. I agree with you, but I like to hear his opinion because he's been through so much education and he's, you know, he's also a lot older than us. So I agree with you because I'm a vegan, obviously, but I like to hear other information. That way I can, like Ty says, you need to be able to argue the other side better. That way when people come at you, you can stomp them really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I want to get back to your goals because I want to hear what you have going on in 2016.
Just being the best student that I can, like really striving hard at university and trying to convert and educate as many people as possible about the vegan diet, and also making constant progress and some nice vegan gains in the gym.
And can you say something in German for the people that are watching in Germany?
Sure. Liebe vegane Menschen, es freut mich sehr, dass ihr unserem Interview zugehört habt und ich hoffe, ihr habt mein Englisch verstanden und ich habe nicht so viele Fehler gemacht. Und liebe vegane Grüße aus Deutschland.
So
Valentino.
cool. You're so much cooler than Americans. Dang it. Can you speak any other languages?
Yeah, I can speak French and Spanish also.
That's ridiculous. America needs to get on it. Like, we're just walking around here just speaking English.
Yeah, like I went to a language school and now I'm doing languages at college, so that's what I'm about. Different cultures
and that's really cool because then you can travel and speak to other people about veganism.
Yeah, especially like Spain and France, like they have the right ideas, but it's just not growing. Like compared to Germany, they're so much behind, unfortunately.
Cool. Well, this has been so great. So tell everyone where they can find you on social medias and emails and whatnot.
You can find me on Facebook. My name is Valentino Vegan, like vegan. It's not vegan because Facebook doesn't allow that. So just add an extra I. And of course, Valentino Vegan on Instagram. And on my YouTube channel, Valentino Vegan. You should be able to find that too.
So Facebook won't allow the word vegan, or someone already had it?
No, they won't allow it as a name, I guess, because they realize that it's not a name. I don't know.
How cool would it be if your last name was vegan?
Yeah, everybody would do it. So now I'm vegan, so I'm all about the gains.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, and I hope everyone will catch us on the next episode, okay? Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have any questions about becoming vegan or wanting to be on the podcast, please contact me on any social media. Dark Sunshine, DarkSunsh9. I cannot wait to meet you.